All right. So after working for about a year with Edison, Edison was very impressed with Tesla. Because the thing is, he showed diligence, he showed ingenuity, he showed that, that he is someone who is very intelligent and knows what they're doing. Um, but the thing is, Edison, because of his ego, never saw Tesla truly as an equal. He always saw Tesla as someone below him. Um, Now, a good example of this is when Tesla tried to convince repeatedly to Edison that they should change from DC to AC power. And again, DC is direct current, and that's Edison's baby. That's what he stuck with. That's the thing he knew. AC, the alternating current, that was Tesla's, right? Tesla was more in favor of it because he saw it had better potential and it worked better than DC. But again, Edison, with his ego, with his I'm right, you're wrong, because Edison was a genius. He was, uh, but because of his ego of not seeing that, hey, maybe I should look into this, maybe I should hear this kid out. He said, no, no, it's AC is dangerous. DC is better, it's safer, so we're sticking with DC. Now, that may have been one thing that kind of riffed them a little bit, but the thing that really separated them two was when Edison told Tesla he would pay him $50,000 bonus, a bonus, mind you, if he could improve the DC dynamos. Now, thing is, Tesla, remember, he worked before at the DC power plant, so he knew how DC worked. He knew how to, basically do things like this. All right, so it took him some time. It took him some time, but he did do it. Now, imagine working for months on something, and your boss tells you, if you finish it, I'll give you a big old bonus. You finish it, you spent all this time, extra effort to get it done, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, here it is. Where's my money? They deny you, and that's exactly what happened to Tesla. Edison basically told him, uh, Tesla, dude, you don't understand American humor. I was just kidding. And that really ticked off Tesla. And basically, Edison took Tesla's design and basically said, oh, here it is. I got it. You know, and he didn't give Tesla his money. Now, that really ticked off Tesla because here he is given a task. He's promised this money. And once he does it, Edison's like, well, I was just kidding. I'm not going to give you $50,000. You kidding? But thank you for the product. So Tesla basically gives him his formal letter of resignation and they separate ways. And the thing is, instead of Edison being like, you know what, dang, I shouldn't have done that. I just drove away this really smart, kid. Edison's like, go ahead, leave. I don't care. You're not going to get another chance with me, things like that. Again, Edison thought because he's so smart, things like that, that nobody else was at his level. Everybody else was below him. And he basically is going to find out the truth about Tesla. All right, so here is your midpoint question. So far from what you've learned, who do you feel is more fascinating, Tesla or Edison, and why? All right, now, um, um, I've said it before in class, and I'll say it here right now. Yes, I am kind of partial to Tesla more. Hopefully, I didn't sway it too much on one side, but I know my bias did come in a little bit. But again, I did try to point out some stuff about Edison, that yes, even though he had little formal education, he was a genius. He did um, invent things. Even though he's mainly did things to uh, kind of improve already created items, still to see something and then say, how can I make that better? That takes ingenuity, that takes determination. And just like that quote, of the 10,000 different ways that didn't work, that takes determination too. So again, I didn't want to make it too much towards Tesla, so I try to bring some stuff about Edison. But again, yes, I am biased towards Edison. So hopefully that doesn't sway you one way or another. Okay. But going back to the question, the writing prompt is on the bottom. I believe that Edison or Tesla, whichever one you prefer, is more intriguing because, and explain. Um, if you would like to stop the video, go online, find something else about either one of the guys, learn something different, I'm all for that. All right. And if you do, let me know. But thing I found interesting was Edison because blah, blah, blah. And I also discovered that on my own and I'm all for that, guys. I really am. Anything that helps you learn, anything that gets you intrigued into history, I am so for that. Okay. So if that's the case, go ahead, stop the video, look at other websites, read more into either one of the guys, and tell me which one do you think you find more interesting and why. That's the key. Why? Why did you find something this guy more interesting? What did he do? Okay, so there's that. All right. So in the late 1870s, electricity was introduced to New York. Mainly, there was a power station in the Lower Manhattan. J.P. Morgan had one of the first houses with electricity. And remember, this was something brand new, you know, to have electricity in your house that you can light up your house in the middle of the night. That was really, really new. And that really got people talking and wanting to see this place. Hey, without a lantern or candles, wow, look at that. Wow, you can light up a whole room with just like a light bulb or two. Um, so the thing is, there were some issues. All right. There was exposed wiring and it presented a lot of danger. Basically, there was like little shocks being sent out and some of that. There were stories of kids climbing up the poles and basically being electrocuted. And when they fell to the ground, they were already dead. Um, you know, so kids learned quick, don't climb those poles. The other thing is a really interesting thing. I don't know if you know this or not, but the people in Brooklyn were so used to dodging the shocks from the electric trolley trains, which are in the picture to your right, that when a baseball team was created in Brooklyn, they became known as the Brooklyn Dodgers. So that's how the Dodgers got their name. All right, so that's a little fun fact for you. Um, so hopefully, if you didn't know that, hopefully you do. If you're a true Dodger fan, you probably knew that. Um, Now the thing is, when Tesla left, basically he's trying to start up, on himself, with himself. Um, he knows he doesn't have the financial backing as uh, as Edison. But the thing is, he's trying to find someone who basically sees what he sees and sees the potential in AC power. So he's working on it. And he's trying to prove that AC is better and safer than DC. Now, every time Tesla tries to say this stuff, Edison counters him. And he's basically trying to prove that AC is dangerous and DC is safer. Okay, so you're going to find out in a little bit um, who helps each one of the guys out and the lengths they go. All right, so Edison was financially supported by J.P. Morgan, and J.P. Morgan is like truly one of the smartest men when it comes to investing and money, like all time. Okay, now Tesla was financially supported by George Westinghouse, and George Westinghouse, he was an inventor and he became a investor. Now, when George Westinghouse is hearing Tesla talk about the AC power, things like that, how it works. He keeps asking questions because remember, he's an inventor as well, former inventor, I should say, and he wants to know how this thing is going to work. And Tesla is giving him answers left and right, telling him everything, some of that. So Westinghouse is like, okay, all right, yeah, I like this. Let's do this. And basically, the battle of the currents begins. AC versus DC, Tesla versus Edison. Now, Tesla, he goes out and he gives demonstrations and lectures on AC power. He brings out the motor and he shows how AC power works. And one of his most famous demonstration is he has two coils up and it's running the power, and he basically puts his hands out and electricity is going through. And people are like, "Oh my God, this guy's gonna fry himself." And he's like, "No, look, see, I'm safe. Hey, how you doing?" Things like that, you know. Um, so the thing is, people are like, "Oh wow, look at that! Wow, that's really cool." And in 1887, he files for 7 patents for the AC motor and the power transmission, plus the generators, transformers, motor, transmission line, and lighting. So he's getting the ball rolling. He's getting things going here. Now, on August 6, 1890, the first person is electrocuted. His name is William Kemmler. Now, the thing is, Kemmler is a convicted axe murderer. And before the execution, the state of New York was looking for a humane way, a quick way to execute people for capital punishment. And Edison and some people were suggesting that electricity be used. But instead of using their electricity, DC, they decided let's use AC power, and that way people will see, oh my God, this AC power kills, and oh, it's dangerous, and they'll not want AC power. Um, so the thing is, Kemmler is sat down, strapped to the chair, has the uh, hat thing put on, strapped to him, and he has like electrodes on his back. Now, the thing is, he gets put in there and they flip the switch, and for 17 seconds at 700 volts, electricity is going through Kemmler's body. Okay. Now, this AC power is going through him, and all of a sudden, after 17 seconds, they let go, and then the people witnessing could smell like burning flesh and burning clothes, and they're like, "Oh my God, it smells." So the doctor comes over, checks him. Okay, he's dead. I mean, just really quickly. But then people realize he's not dead. Look, he's breathing, and they look, yeah, he sure is breathing. And I already taught this to one class, and they asked me, why did the doctor say he was dead? Well, because you have to remember too, this doctor probably saw kids who touched the electricity and died. So he figured, oh well, he looks like he's dead. He's dead. You know. So the second time, they crank up the volts to 1030, and they basically hold down the electricity going through his body for 2 minutes. Now smoke starts coming out of his head, and people there are just like, oh my God, this is nasty, this is wrong, oh my goodness. um, Later in the autopsy, they find that the electrodes on his back actually burned through to his spine. So it went through the skin, the fat, the muscle to the spine. It burned through. So people were just outraged and just couldn't believe how this person went through this. And the thing is, they didn't blame uh, Tesla. They blamed Edison and his people for this.